I got a strike while the iron is hot. One of one, don't follow flocks. Man, I got this on lock. Team Harvey, team hustle, team can't be stopped. Just cop 900 glowy, yeah, I'm fresh out the shop. Let's start rolling. I'm an expert on the lane. Yeah, smooth approach, about to roll a perfect game. And well connected with the sport's biggest names. We can't talk unless an X on the frame. I'm here asking the questions, clear the air and confusion. Fresh, humble, and arrogant with the logo infusion. Red cup for the right vibe. I got the answers, you going live with Bowtie.
Yo. Good evening. I am your host, Mr. Bowtie himself, Brandon Grant. I hope everybody had a great Thursday. We are one day closer to Friday. Thank goodness. Man, tonight's guest, I can't say I've known him, but I've known about him. And he bowled with my parents since I was young. And by the time I really got into bowling, he disappeared on me. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want me to get none of that money that he was making. But dude, this dude here, man, I can say it's truly an honor to have met him and to be part of his little circle is phenomenal, man. So a lot of you guys may know him, and a lot of you guys may not know him, but trust and believe he has a story. And that's why we here. So I'm gonna bring my boy Royale Miles to the screen. What's up, bro?
How you doing, my brother? How you feeling?
Man, I am blessed, bro. Just trying to stay cool on these hot sunny days out here.
That's right. We've been to the beach almost every day, but today.
Really?
Yeah. Torrance Beach, right where you hang out sometimes rolling.
Hey, that's where it is. I work out in Torrance, man.
That's right. I heard that part already.
Yeah, man. But everything else is good?
Yeah. Sarah, get him. Yeah, everything is good. It is what it is, life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, so dude, like I said, just first of all, I want to say thank you for even coming on the show, bro.
Yeah. It can be a tough spot, you know what I'm saying?
It took some teeth pulling and some arm grabbing and a little hair lock and you know what I'm saying, all of that, but we finally got you on here.
I got you. I'm a controversial dude in a lot of ways, but you got to do what you got to do, and I did it how I had to do it, and I had success doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of successes from what I'm hearing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be like I said, one day I'm gonna get on your level, man, as I get younger.
Well, there are a lot of people that are way on my level, as far as a bowler, and I was better than most of my peers by a long margin, but I was never way up there. You know what I'm saying? But I knew exactly what I was worth and no more than that. Real quick, come here, Cameron. This is my oldest son, Cameron.
Hi, Cameron.
So Cameron has autism. He's nonverbal, and that's why I made my comments to you about Miss Blackman.
Yeah.
And we can try to get her some help. You know,
she's on here right now too.
She's not aware, and we go, see what's happening. But this is my main man right here. This is my oldest, and he's changed a lot of things in my life. And this right here is my wife, Sarah. People didn't know Sarah. I quit bowling before I met Sarah. Sarah, oh, okay.
Yeah. And, hey, Sarah, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
All right. And I got two other little boys. She gonna run them in here for a second, and then we got some peace. Sarah wasn't around. I had another relationship while I bowled, and she was down. She was a rider. You know what I'm saying? She had my back, supportive, and anything that I knew, she learned. She knew. You know what I'm saying? So she helped me a lot, and it was a lot of travel, a lot of wars going to the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Fun wars. I met some phenomenal people, that were good to me, that loved me, and a lot of hate me, but it was part of the game. This is my other son, Clay. This is probably my double, because this dude is he's on another level. Okay. Uh-oh. This is Clay. Say hi, Clay.
Hi.
Okay.
What's up, Clay?
Hi.
This is my little one, Cole.
Hi.
He's 4, and look at him, he all dirty, but he's a good one right here.
Hey, that's what boys do. You was dirty when you was that age too.
Yeah, I was this one. This was me right here. This right here was all me. So bye. Out.
So what's the ages? So
Clay,
we got
out.
Cameron,
Let's go.
Cole, and
Cameron, Clay, and Cole. So
Cameron, Clay, and Cole.
I named him certain reasons. Cameron, I named him that since my wife is Vietnamese and her family is from Vietnam. My dad was in the Vietnamese War.
Okay.
And since she was from Vietnam, when the soldiers used to come in, they used to come into Cam Ran Bay. It's actually Kan Ram Bay. So that's where they used to go. So in relation to that, Clay is named after the greatest of all time, Cassius Clay.
Okay.
So he would be mad if I called him that. So, Mr. Muhammad Ali, the late great, and Cole, because my parents loved Nat King Cole. So that's where I got my names from for my boys.
Hey,
that's the business, dog.
That is dope, man.
All right.
Man, like if you, I don't know, on your screen, if you click to the right, you'll see.
I need to be looking down left.
No, top right, you'll see live comments if you want to see what's going on.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get on that. Let me see where we go here.
Yeah, on the right side,
I got you.
Yeah, it's people over there talking to you right now.
Okay, I know they are.
Yeah, man, dude. Hey, I'm gonna come out the gate, bro. Hey, like guys. Hey, Royo Miles, if y'all missed it, a lot of people know him. He been off the grid for quite a while. If you've been on the bowling scene for a minute, you know who he is. If you haven't been on the bowling scene, you best to listen because he got a hell of a story for sure.
So I go off on different ways. I'm kind of forgetful about things. I go from one subject to the next. So you got to get me back to the question if you need to. And we can get off some questions if they get a little bit out of line with me, but we good. So
no, I'm gonna come out the gate and I'm gonna ask. Hey, did you love the game of bowling, or did you only love the money that you made?
I did both. I loved the game when I basically first started to understand the game. Then it became I really loved it. At one point, I never thought I would ever put a bowling ball down. I thought it was me for life. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Even towards the end, at the end, I still loved the game, but changes came and it was just time to move on. A lot of things in bowling have changed that I'm disappointed with. Not really in a bad way, but it was just the game changed, a whole lot. So I tried to make those adjustments and I couldn't. And I just saw that it was just the end of the line, and what really did it was I walked in the bowling alley one day and I felt satisfied. I had won the one league that I wanted to win as an end goal. Right. And once I won that, I kept thinking to myself, and I didn't know what to do. I took a week off, and I walked into the bowling alley with 6 bowling balls, 2 here, 1 here, 1 here. And I sat there and I watched a bunch of bowlers bowl that I know. Yeah. I'm not going to say no names, but it was a whole crew of us. And I watched and I couldn't pick my balls up. And they kind of, I was kind of a perfectionist when it came to things. I tried to do things smooth. If I couldn't do things right, I tried to play golf. I wasn't good at stretching, so I said, I got to let this go. But they kind of hurt my eyes. Everybody had a little hitch there, and these were all 200 bowlers. But right, I didn't have – they weren't 200 to me. They weren't that caliber of bowler to me, Numbers don't mean anything to me,
Hey, to me, I think you was one of the smoothest bowlers that I've seen.
And I feel that I was too. But when I see other people, I don't see that a lot of times. A lot of people don't know that how I started bowling, I started kind of late, even though I did bowl a little bit as a kid because I used to travel to Germany to see my grandmother every year. And I used to be there for 3 months, but the kids that were out there, they were only out of school for like 6 weeks out the year. So I had to find things to do. So I would take a long subway all the way to the Air Force Base, different trains, and they had a bowling alley there. So I either played basketball or went downstairs to the bowling alley, and I enjoyed it. So, but I never bowled. The first introduction I had was at Inglewood Lanes, Jola Bowl at the time. Yeah, and I kept score. And one day I just kept scoring. I was making my little dollars, you know, and I was happy because I had change. And as a little kid then, I was gambling, you know, I was playing all the time, you know. So then I was getting $10 here, work late, making $10 here. By the end of the week, I had paper. I was going to the track and having a good old time, you know.
That's funny.
So, you know, I didn't bowl at that time or anything. But what got me in the bowling alley was I used to play Space Invaders and I used to play Asteroids with my friends.
Yeah.
So I was in the bowling alley playing that all the time. And this is how I started. From the racetrack, I had met a group of people that I knew from school. And it was like 10 of us that used to go to the racetrack fairly consistently that bowled. So when we went to the track, you know, they were bowlers too. And I was in there one day and I knew Nate Stevens. Nate Stevens is the older brother of Larry Stevens. So, and Nate Stevens was Lisa Chambers' boyfriend at the time. So I had a really good relationship with him, and he came out and he had a brand new 300Z.
Yeah.
So he would let me roll it, right? So at night I was rolling. I was never bowling though, never bowling. So I was in there driving this car on Crenshaw, hanging out, you know, and
they out there bowling, you out there hanging out.
They were out there gambling. They were out there pop bowling at night, Friday and Saturday nights at Jola Bowl, right? They were gambling. So I sat there. I was rolling the car. I didn't want to bowl. I couldn't hang because I didn't have enough. You know, they were bowlers at the time. Yeah. So I sat there and got chased by the police one day. I got away kind of quick. Parking lot across the street. Ran into the bowling alley, and I didn't do that no more. And I started to bowl. You know, that's how I ended up bowling, going to the bowling alley, meeting, you know, their friends, and we, you know, I started bowling. I actually worked at Jola Bowl for a period of time.
Wow.
And we pot bowled every Friday and Saturday night for some paper. You know what I'm saying? Because people had some paper back then. You know, certain people had some paper back then because people had.
I don't know the way you said that's certain. You looked in the camera like I don't know.
Say I missed you because you broke up a little bit there. Say that one more time.
The way you said certain people, you was like really put emphasis on that.
People were hustling, man. You know what I'm saying? People had money. They were, you know, people selling that crack. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, all them youngsters had money. You know what I'm saying? So they were gambling, you know. So you know, it was anybody was coming up and they were gambling. You know. So
hey, where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born in Berlin, Germany. Because my dad met my mom in Berlin. My mom was German Italian. My dad was born in Mobile, Alabama, and raised in Oakland, California. So I was born there. I lived there for a couple years while my dad was in the war, and I was back and forth from the States. Then I was my dad got stationed in Athens, Greece.
Wait, he was in the military?
Air Force, same thing as Miss Blackman. And then I you know, real proud of my dad. My dad was he was a writer, dog. He was Oakland, and he created a Black Studies program where he had at first 6 or 7 students. And what he did was he educated them on their rights in the military and as a person, because then we weren't respected. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You didn't know. They weren't educated. We weren't educated. Minorities weren't educated. We were taken advantage of. But my dad knew that. So he taught people what their rights were. And his class turned out to be well over 100 people. And because of things like that, my dad in 1971 was Airman of the Year, Outstanding Airman of the Year, went to Washington, D.C., and, you know, was highly, you know, he was a good cat, man. And I fell kind of far from that education tree because he educated himself, and I'll probably be disappointed him in that way. You know what I'm saying? So, but I turned out to be a great person as I'm with my kids because I'm on them. And because he used to get me because I was way out of line all the time, man. I think I still have this little lump here from him going upside my head.
Hey, what sports did you play growing up? And do you consider whatever sports you played an outlet to keep you out of trouble?
When I was a kid, I played all sports in school. When I went to Germany to visit my grandmother every year, I played soccer because that's what they did. Still to this day, I still have my childhood friend there, and we occasionally meet. But I played soccer, and then when I came here, I played soccer for a club I was probably one of the best 10 to 13-year-olds in California at that time.
Oh, wow.
Because that's all we did when we played in Germany. And I was pretty good at soccer, but it never elevated past that because the programs weren't here at the time. And I was more interested in playing football, and basketball and baseball.
Hey, I heard stories about your pops.
Okay.
What did he actually do besides Air Force?
Well, my father, before he went into the military, he was a boxer. And in San Francisco, he was Golden Gloves champion. But at 18, he entered the military. But my father, after getting out of the military, he ended up training fighters. And the most popular fighter that he had was a fighter named Razor Ruddock, who fought Tyson twice. He was the only person at that time to fight Mike Tyson twice. You can find those on there. I don't know why they show Tyson and they don't really show, and I'm not trying to be biased because I'm very fair with whoever's bowling, who's ever playing basketball.
Right.
It is what it is. And Razor was a hell of a fighter. The only problem he had, he couldn't really think right in the ring because he had asthma. So he didn't, it kind of, I think things like that put a kind of stress on you where you can't really focus. But if anybody wants to pull Razor Ruddock up, my father trained him and a lot of fighters, and he's taken in a lot of fighters. And I mean, my dad was a good guy, man. My dad came home. One more thing. When I came here to the States before I lived in Inglewood, my grandmother lived on 38th and Woodlawn, South Central. Mm-hmm. So you had somebody on your show. I've watched almost every one of your shows for anybody that could keep my attention. And so Jerry Johnson mentioned on your show
from
that
Vegas,
he was raised on 38th and Woodlawn. I lived on 38th and Woodlawn. My mom's address was 3800 Woodlawn. Okay, so I know he's got to know my grandmother, Minnie Lee Miles. She owned several houses on that block because she was a real estate kind of person.
Right.
And she, my family still lives in those homes today. So I know. And I'm wondering, did he live directly across the street because they had a big family and maybe I didn't know who he was because we had some tough dudes on that street. We played back on the street back in them days. And my $150 wet self, it was tough, They tamed me up a little bit going to Catholic school.
Well, what school did you go to?
I went to St. John Chrysostom in Inglewood at elementary. And they kind of tamed me there because I was bad, man. I mean, coming up there, it was rough, Yeah. And then from there, I ended up going to Sarah High School in Gardena, where a lot of these athletes come now.
My little cousin, he went to Sarah, then went to Arizona,
okay.
Then got picked up free agency for the Eagles right now. So
okay, all good, yeah. So they got a system. They had some ballers coming from there, man.
Oh yeah,
some ballers. I'm proud of that. So I played football at Sarah, and we were pretty good back then.
Hey, hold on, stop right there. Yeah. Who was better, you or Charles?
At what?
In football? No, in football.
Oh no. See, we can't even go that route. I wasn't. See, here we go. I'm calling like it was. I participated. I was there,
Okay.
but I played soccer. So what happened was we had a kicker that didn't kick that well. He kicked well, but it seemed like he struggled at a point. So one day, I wasn't that good of a student. I got in a little trouble, so I couldn't play for a little bit. You know, I was on the sideline for a little bit. So then I had them hold the ball for me, and I kicked, and brother hit the scoreboard. So the coach happened to see it. So we were sitting there, doing plays at the end. We always did our little thing for the kicker, and the coach had me kick, and they knew they had a new kicker. So I went 13 out of 14 with field goals and extra points. The first one was blocked. So from that point, I went 13 out of 13. I'm not going to count the first one. But, I was not a football player. I was there. I played wide receiver, but I wasn't a player, man. Because a couple guys they went Division I though. One was Stephen Williams. The other one was man, you got me saying names. I'm gonna be mad. I can't come up with it, but he's my dog. You got me a little nervous here.
Hey, it's all good. All good.
By the way, I'm drinking with my right hand. It's just a little Kirkland soda. I throw some orange juice in there, but I noticed that most times you drink with your left hands, and you always talking about you hate lefties. So I don't think you're telling the truth.
It's only because it's easy access. Now, if you could teach me how to bowl left-handed, I will put all things aside. All things.
And there we go, talking about one bowler that I had a lot of respect for, a brother that helped a lot of people. Would rest in peace, Lou Lewis. Lou Lewis was left-handed. I don't know which one it quite was at this time. He was right-handed or left-handed, but he had a heart attack. He stopped bowling for a while, and when he came back, he ended up being right-handed. He ended up switching his whole game up and shot 300 right-handed. And he coached a lot of people. Lou Lewis was the biggest gentleman you could ever find. Used to be at Midtown all the time, around anybody. I see Tyrone Julian's name on there. Tyrone Julian can tell you.
Look, Tyrone Julian, Barry Asher, Ed Hansen, Kenny Saxton. Hey, everybody was like, how did you get Royale out?
Hey, before we get started, I see certain comments on there. I look, my brother, I got notes here, okay, on your show. Okay. Look, I'm telling you, what you doing, you did a great thing, partner. You don't know. But look, I got work, dog. Okay. Now, we can't get through all this, but I'm gonna put shade on one dude, okay, real quick.
Oh, put shade on him. Hey, it is the show that keeps it 100.
Okay, so
is David Fitzgerald any good?
I hope he's not mad at me, okay, but there's a guy I always see comments when my name come up, and I gotta see a little drama on there, right? So, but it's somebody I always wish I bowled with him, but he wasn't 150, so I couldn't bowl with him. But his name is Ed Hansen. I remember Ed. Okay, I remember Ed. I remember that he was a tall cat, and I remember that he bowled, but I don't remember him good enough to know his face. I know I see that, but I still can't. I saw that. I clicked it on there. But he wasn't important enough for me to really remember in detail. People that were very important, that I loved, that loved me or hated me, I really knew. So, Ed, I love you though, Ed, but it's all good.
Hey, David Fitzgerald, he said he was good at one point. Was he really good?
David threw the ball extremely well. By the way, I'm not sure about this, but I think David might have threw without a thumb a little bit. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. This is what I'm going to say about me. A lot of people on here might not know that or remember it, but I believe that I was the first bowler to bowl without a thumb. A lot of people might not know that, but I never used my thumb. The only time I used my thumb was to pick up spares. So I always had a pink hammer at the end of my last probably 10 years. I had one ball. It's the pink hammer. It went dead straight. Whatever spare I left on there, unless it was, hook and left, or basically, or I had to get behind something, I had a pink hammer. That day I told you I quit bowling, I took them 6 balls. I gave them away to somebody that I know from the Brown family. And I told him, this is the only ball you can't ever get rid of. If I ever need it and to pull it out, that's the ball that I need. So, yeah, I'm sorry. David Fitzgerald threw the ball extremely smooth. David was a 200 bowler. David was a good bowler. But, a lot of people got better after I quit, and I wasn't there because I didn't come to the bowling alley for a long time.
Yeah.
Only time I came to the bowling alley were very rare occasions. And they were to see people like your mom. I play a little poker here and there. And when I run bad, I take a little break and I walk down the street. There's a Gardena Bowl sometimes because I play sometimes down the street from there. Yeah. And I walk and I truly go to see the seniors. When I leave there, I know there's a group that bowls there Monday and Thursday. They used to bowl Monday and Thursday. And I used to go there to see Al Bailey, who was one of my favorite guys. I always looked up to him. And, sorry, man.
Oh, no, you good. Hey, it's so funny because who said that? Somebody said, Andre. Yeah. Andre said that's Royale at his best. Super organized.
Well, I can say this, that whenever I bowled, I was the captain. I organized. I had a plan for whatever I was doing way in advance. I had everything in line. There was a league at Bowlodrome. It was a 40-team Monday night league, which was unbelievable to have. And, I had problems in there, but I always had advice. I tried to make that league go on, and they try to change things. So I couldn't win. And I told them, I said, when y'all walk in here, y'all bowling for second. It does not matter what rule you change. Okay. I got to answer for your question. So this is what you should do. So I remember it was a guy named Mr. Turner. I'm sure he's not around anymore. He's probably rest in peace because he would have been an older gentleman. But I told him, I was like, if you want this league to continue, this is what you're going to have to do, or you're going to destroy your league,
Yeah.
And he told me I better leave the office or they were going to kick me out the league. Next year, that league went from 40 teams to 18 teams because a lot of people need to listen to people that know what's going. A lot of people don't really know what's going on, but when certain people talk, certain people should listen. And I see you had Dewan on there. Yeah. Now, Dewan is a very educated guy with TNBA, and I'm telling you that I know from where he comes from that he cares about TNBA. But these bylaws and things being set up just like our laws in the United States of America are set up different ways. Right. They're hard to go around, processes and things like that. And so it's really hard, but he means well. He means extremely well. And yes, things need to be changed, Yeah. Yeah. So
hey, give me your story of when you went to Reno and bowled TNBA Nationals. How about that?
Okay, you got that story. So Juan's in that story. So I was invited to go there. Everybody said that they were going there, so I always wanted to be where everybody wanted to be. So I was like, let's roll. So I went to the airport, got on the plane. I reserved 10 days room or whatever it was. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I didn't know what I was getting into, where I was going to bowl. I was going. I wasn't signed up.
You were going because everybody else was going.
Yeah, but I wasn't pre-signed up, or I was going to get sub spots and things like that. I didn't know how this was organized because when I bowled at Inglewood, I say Inglewood, but at the time it was Jola. I don't think there was a TNBA league there. The first TNBA league I think I bowled was at Southwest, and there weren't too many around, so I didn't really even know what TNBA was at all. So when it was in Reno, everybody said they were going, so I said, well, I'm going to catch a flight and, Terminal 1 Southwest, and I was in Reno. So Before that, I was actually boarding. Dewan Clark comes up to me. I'm like, what the hell are you doing here, Dewan? So he was like, what are you doing here? I said, I'm going to Reno. He said, well, I'm going to Reno too. He said, hey, I said, yeah. He said, he said, are you bowling King and Queen? I think it's called Kings and Queen. I said,
no, Battle of the Sexes.
Okay, but I think it was okay, whatever it was. So I walked, I said, no, I'm not. He said, you got to bowl this. And I was kind of surprised that he would tell me something like that, you know. So I was like, okay. I was like, and so as soon as I got off the plane, I took a cab and I was at the bowling alley. Right. He said, you know, he had told me that it was a sweeper and whatever, you know. So somebody told me that I knew there and said, yeah, you got to get a spot, but all the spots were already taken. So obviously I had to get a sub spot. So now I walk in and it's doubles. Everybody's passing out dollars. You know, I'm passing out dollars, you know. Another story on the dollar thing, because it was funny about Sonny Dew passing out dollars. So then I sat there and I mean, I clean clock, man. You know, I put in work. The shot was unbelievable. And man, I can't tell you what numbers I shot, but I felt like God in that bowling alley, and the money was just motivational. And I walked out of that joint with, I mean, I want to say close to 10,000, man. And this was, I couldn't believe it.
And this was the first day.
That was the first day and the only day for me. So, you know, later I went to, because that was where they bowled it. So later on, after that, I went to the team house or the doubles house. I can't quite remember where it was. And of course, I got approached and they tried to re-rate me. I said, how you gonna re-rate me? I bowled 3 games, you know? And I was like, they didn't know who I was. You know, the only person that knew a little bit of me at the time, a lot of respect for my brother, Harvey. Harvey has done, he's an icon, man. What he's done for people and always being in the game, I got a lot of respect for Harvey. He may not know that, but from afar, and he's helped my friends, and I'm so thankful for that, you know, for taking people in and helping them and, you know, showing them a good time. I hear stories about you guys. You know, I got some hookups, and I really appreciate that guy, you know, Harvey putting it down. So I went to that house, and then I saw Harvey. And I said, Harvey, what's up, man? Go talk to this guy. I think his name was Luther Moses. I guess he was in charge, the head guy in charge. So from that point, Royale was not bowling under those conditions, because then I guess the rules were if you got re-rated, you bowled under re-rate. That's the average at that time that you had to accept everywhere, and that wasn't happening. Right. So, and you know, everybody says that, yeah, I kept my average down, and I did. But the reason that I kept my average to what it was is because I judged myself against the best bowlers that I bowled against. I knew I wasn't the best bowler.
Right.
And the best bowler when I first started was basically Larry Stevens. So once I got
Stevens,
Larry Stevens was the best bowler in town when I was bowling.
Wow. I'm gonna call that old fart soon when I finish with you.
That I know, you know, and everybody has issues. He might have his reasons for not coming on. Understandable. But Larry was a bowler. He put in his work. You know what I'm saying? He tried hard, and he wasn't successful as a pro, but that doesn't mean that you're not good.
Right.
Because I'm going to say it like you had a few people say it on there. Them guys you see out there are players. I'm not going to say that most of the players that are out there today were players, because the game has changed so much with equipment.
Yeah.
And I will say, when resin got introduced to the game,
yeah,
and as it has evolved, it kind of destroyed the game, because the game was a game of accuracy and being able to hit your mark consistently and make adjustments. There are adjustments made now, don't get me wrong, but they're way different. I'm sure today. I don't know that. But, you know, once these balls changed, people started shooting numbers. Bowlers that I knew that couldn't bowl were shooting numbers. And I was like, you got to be kidding me, you know? And it was like that, you know, and you know, I can say one proud thing about my bowling. I have 1-800. I have less than 10 300s. Never kept count. Didn't care about that.
Right.
The most impressive thing to me was an 800. I mean, when I first started bowling, I thought to myself, how the heck am I ever going to shoot 700? I thought that was like, I would never, ever do that. 700 for a dude to shoot. When I went to different bowling alleys, I looked at them like they were a player in these days, you know?
Yeah.
I would say I bowled in the late 80s. I started in the mid to late 80s and all through the 90s. And the last day I bowled was June 1st, 2000. So exactly now, I'm exactly 20 years removed from the game. And it's like unbelievable because in some facets, it seems like almost yesterday, but 20 years, it's almost amazing to say that I've been gone that long. And on your show, you've had several people that have bowled with me. And I can't be more proud, dude, where these guys have gone.
Yeah.
You know, the character that they have, you know, Vernon, y'all got him named as Black Jesus, whatever. That's V-Dog to me. V-Dog in the house. That was my man. You know, Charles, you had Andre Rounds, my man, you know. You had the best bowler that I bowled with that kind of, as far as I'm concerned, when I saw it, changed the game was Robert Smith. Robert was a straight player back then, you know. I mean, the way Robert threw the ball when he came on the scene was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I had to know him. And through him in Vegas, I met Tim Mack. And these guys I'm talking about are the nicest guys in the whole wide world that would teach you anything. They offered information to everybody. I still see it today. These guys, I'm so proud to have been a part of them, you know, and for them to be a part of me, you know, yeah, I mean, it's like strong, man.
Hey, look, here you go. Question right there. Can you train me since I didn't get to bowl with you?
This guy right here, this guy texts me every Kentucky Derby asking me for the winner because I'm a straight horse racing guy along with Charles. We were riders at the game. We loved the game. This guy right here, and I got to say, people that made me laugh, unconditional with me, this guy, Darren Stillwell. And
Darren is, oh my God.
The late, great Marcus. I miss my dog so bad. That guy, I didn't know Marcus that well, but I can see the smile on his face every time that guy saw me, you know, and I'm sad for his family. You know what I'm saying? I met Sharice first. She was a rider back in the day when we bowled for money. Sharice was the head bitch in charge, dog. She's a baller down there.
Hey, look. Cordy, you know Cordy?
I can't say that I do. There are a lot of people I don't remember.
Hey, she said you guys never say anything about the women. You bold enough. Start talking about, give us a little bit about the women, bro.
Well, I had the best women bowling around with me because I had room for them. So, and I knew how to sell my ticket. I told them, they went with me. You ain't got nothing to worry about. You ain't got nothing to do. You just show up and bowl. I'll handle everything else. So, you know, like I said, I was organized. I had plans when I bowled. So I bowled with Maxine Paul. I bowled with Detroit, Deborah Henry, who is by way of there, removed from there, Colorado, now in Vegas, retired. Love her to death. funny lady, great person. I bowled.
She on here watching.
That's my girl right there. Deb. We used to put it down. Matter of fact, see, I can go from subject to subject, man. Me and Deborah Henry, you had Dewan on there. I was really surprised to hear this because I didn't know it. Dewan, that tournament that he started at Midtown. Now, Midtown, man, that was a tough house, man.
I hate that bowling alley.
And rightly so. But if you could bowl there, you were a player. And there weren't too many people that could bowl there. I mean, it was rough, man. And the late Roger, he kept them lanes tough, you know. So me and Deborah took second in that tournament. First prize, I found our picture. I meant to send it to Deborah because I looked through my papers last night. I got stuff everywhere. I can't, but I run into them. So me and Deborah finished second in that tournament. I remember for the money, I had a shot to win it. I didn't know I had a chance to win it, but in the 10th, I left the 9 for the money, and I was disappointed. And I looked, I couldn't remember if that was a handicap or a scratch tournament, but I have a feeling that it was a scratch tournament and a scratch doubles tournament. But I looked.
Ron said it was a Southern California mixed doubles.
Ask him, was it scratch or handicap?
Scratch or handicap, Tyrone? Give us that answer. Handicap.
It was handicap.
Yeah, that's Ryan B. Small. You know Ryan?
Yeah, B. Small. He ain't small, though. I think he wasn't small. B. Small was the man. Love that guy. He ain't on there, is he?
Yeah, he listening.
Oh, my God. B. Small. That's my main man. Man,
you see what happened when you come from under the rock, other people come from under the rock, bro.
Man, nice guy, man. Quiet, nice guy. Loved him. You know, another guy out of there who, man, a lot of guys that I found out that I ended up bowling with threw the ball well, but didn't know how to bowl. They weren't coached. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I took one lesson, and I'm not even going to say it was a lesson because it was a dear friend of mine. And I told him, I said, I can't hit this anymore. The game has changed. And he worked with me diligently to try to show me what I needed to do. That was another step to know that I got to a point where I couldn't see myself being successful anymore. You know, where I was going to be marginalized and I wasn't going to be marginalized. So matter of fact, I finished second with Deborah Henry in that tournament that 1 year. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, the game marginalized me. But I can see now, because these new resin balls, they were tearing the lanes up. You know, they didn't have the right. And I understand that now by watching your show, how the game has changed. Blackman, unreal. The knowledge right there, partner, unreal. I needed that knowledge that guy had right there back then, because all the things that he's changed in the game, which I don't really agree with, because I think you had to work hard to figure out yourself how to make your stuff work.
Yeah.
I used to go to Vernon Adams' house before bowling Monday night and sand my balls down, polish them up before bowling. I used to take Vernon, let's go running, Vern. Let's go before bowling. I used to try to put work into these guys. Charles, same way. Charles, let's go hit this hill. Charles would call me the next week. I'm like, how you doing, Charles? Hey, I'm getting out this truck easy as hell. He couldn't believe how if they put this to their bowling, they would have been, I mean, I can't tell you how much better. People didn't know how to work out back then. I used to put in work. I used to go to 4th Street stairs in Santa Monica and run them stairs. If anybody knows them in 4th Street in Santa Monica, a lot of actors and stuff go there. I used to put in work on them stairs. I used to run them 2-step at a time. People walk them. I used to run them, run around the block, do them again. Hard work. But when these legs were in shape, you know, so most times during the year, I wasn't even in shape until, you know, certain dates came. Right. Tax day. When tax day came, I was ready. Right. April 15th. You know something about that day?
I know a little bit about that day now.
That's when I was free back then. That's when I could bowl. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to, keep my average right. By the way, I was talking about my average. I'm sorry I go from subject to subject, man. But I kept my average down, like I said, because I had to compare myself to a Larry Stevens. Larry was a bowler back then, could play. Now, I'm not talking about anywhere else. This is where I was bowling. So I had to compare myself to the best. Now, was I going to walk in the bowling alley when I had improved and say, am I going to average 190? Because average was based off of either 190, 200. Back then, basically not even 210 at that time. I'm sure it's changed now off a high average in the league and et cetera. I'm not walking in no bowling alley at 190 and going to try to beat Larry. It's not happening. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to beat him time to time, but we got to be at least 50-50. So if I'm walking next to my partner every day, and I'm saying, Brandon, I know I'm better than Brandon, and I know it's not fair that I'm better than Brandon, but I can't compare myself to you. I have to compare myself to the best and how I can be competitive and how I can put pressure on him. And I'm not, and that's just how I felt about the game. So, it was no disrespect to anybody at my level or beneath. I loved everybody that I bowled with. I loved the game for those reasons. That's just where I came from. So it wasn't a matter of me doing it for any other reason, and that's what it was, so
there you go.
Hey,
how many days a week did you bowl league, and what kind of success did you have when you were in league?
I bowled when I first started bowling, I just bowled a couple nights a week, as I improved. I remember my first book average being 161. And then it progressed. I think I averaged 71, and as it got up, and Sonny Do, so as I progressed in bowling, I bowled with Sonny Do a lot when I first started because I had value to him, and I had, and I learned, they needed a low bowler. I showed potential, and they needed me to bowl. Everybody had a low bowler.
Yeah.
So I thank Sonny for introducing me to the game in that way because Sonny knew everywhere to bowl. So that's how I started bowling more and more and getting introduced to the bigger leagues and stuff like that because I basically just bowled at Inglewood at the time. So as it progressed, I bowled more and more. But at one point, I want to say that I might have bowled 9 leagues in a week.
Wow.
And I bowled morning leagues. I remember I used to bowl Monday morning at Holiday Bowl. And the reason that I remember that, because them days that I used to gamble, pop bowling and stuff, we used to go to the guy's house and shoot pool too. So I wanted to learn how to shoot pool because they were gambling, and I wanted to, I loved shooting pool as a kid, so I wanted to learn. So Holiday ended up having a pool hall in it. Wow. So I started going in there, and I started to learn how to shoot pool just because of that reason. So then I would hang out at Holiday after Monday in the morning. I'd shoot pool pretty much all day. And my road dog, Al Edwards, who used to hang with me, who used to work the desk there, thank Al for all the free games that I used to get bowling whenever I did, but I rarely practiced. I'm putting them out there, but Holiday doesn't exist anymore. And I got to go to Tyrone, helped me out a little bit working. And Carl Hughes, who was an old guy, the desk guy at Tropicana. Then he went to Holiday. But then I bowled Tuesday, Wednesday. I bowled morning leagues, night leagues. I remember Thursday, I used to bowl a Thursday morning league, go to the racetrack. Thursday morning, we used to race from the racetrack.
In cars?
Huh?
In cars?
Well, I'm saying race to make it to the league.
Oh, okay.
For 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
From Santa Anita, And then I used to bowl the 6 o'clock league, the 9 o'clock league. Friday, same thing. I remember I used to bowl at Cal. I think it was a Friday morning league. I didn't bowl on Saturdays. I usually kept Saturdays clear. And Sunday, I bowled the Sunday Vegas League, which was the biggest money league at that time, where I think that was the league that started, as far as that I saw, that had all the money in it. I mean, that have created people thinking for all these first game pots, second game pots. I'm talking about team pots. And I mean, that's what really started where the money was. You know, it was crazy how much money went to Vegas back then.
And look, you say you was a gambler.
Yes.
K-Mac said
That's
you lost 100.
You say that again?
K-Mac said you lost 100 on a foot race at Southwest Bowl. Who won?
Well, I can tell you this. I may have raced K-Mac, and I don't remember. But I've had a couple races. But the one that sticks out to me, sorry, K-Mac, I love my boy K-Mac. But I can tell you this, at Inglewood when we used to gamble, there's a guy that you know. His name is Tommy Newman.
Yep.
You know Tommy Newman?
Absolutely.
Tommy Newman used to bowl back then when we used to gamble, okay? So Tommy used to be, because they used to street race. So they were street racing coming into the bowling alley. And Tommy was like, I'll race. Now, I was an athletic dude. My dad still, at least back when he was still living, that I knew that he held the 100-meter record in Europe, ran 200 meters back in the day on dirt. So,
wow.
And he may still hold that record today. I don't know. Things have changed. But I raced Tommy Newman in the parking lot. Tommy Newman back then had to be 240, 260, solid as a rock. Tommy got me, man. And I was a quick dude. Tommy Newman, K-Mac, I know you might have been fast, but I can't quite remember. You know what I'm saying? But K-Mac was an athlete, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, hey, don't slip on Tommy Newman back in the day. Love my boy Tommy. Good. Hey, we had some drama in the bowling alley several times. Tommy saved my life before I can say. He may have. You know what I'm saying? Tommy was down for a brother. Looked out for a little $150 guy. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew I wasn't really from the streets. I'm from the streets, but I wasn't really from the streets. I knew when danger was ahead, but Tommy looked out for a brother, along with a guy named Keith Truck Simpson, who was a good bowler back in the days. A lot of people don't know him. There may be a few old timers that know him, but Truck was a little, he went to the military. He was a rolling 60 after he got out the military, and I'm sure he got in some trouble. But he saved the brother because he loved me, because he looked up to me, because he thought I was one of them dudes rolling, because I was always gambling. He couldn't figure out where I was getting the money from all the time to gamble, But, people, I had a lot of different methods of what I did,
Hey, I was, look, I did my homework on you. Like I told you, I know you.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
I was told you bowled 5 leagues and you took first place in all 5. Is that true?
I'm going to say this. There weren't too many leagues that I didn't win. If I was in a league, I was bowling for the money because I wasn't the team captain of a team. There might have been some small leagues, but anything that had any kind of value to it, yeah. There was a year where I won all my leagues and I won every sweeper on that too. I think in one of those, I wasn't high man. But the guy that was high man wasn't in with everybody, but I was. So, and I was that guy that bought bowl tournament club. You ask people for dollars. And back then, even now, I'm sure you go and somebody might not give you $1.
It ain't even dollar for dollar no more. And it's so weak.
But when it was.
Yeah.
You see Sonny, somebody illustrated how Sonny would say, nah. And Sonny would do that. That was real funny.
Yeah.
For me, if a person didn't give me $1, because there was no way that I wasn't going to be with everybody. Right. One thing that they didn't know was they were going to be in no matter what with me. They might not have known it. And it was a lot of people that might not have been able to afford it. And there were some people that just didn't do it. But for them, And for me to bring them in, that made their day. You just don't know how certain people feel about that, you know?
Yeah.
So that made me happy if I could make somebody some paper, you know?
That's crazy. Look, they said you done won quite a bit of money. Del Rio, you won. Keystone, you done won.
I've you know, but this is work. I'm not bowling for second, you know, when it came to these things. I took pride in it.
Yeah.
But I bowled with the best of the best. And if people didn't know they were the best, those were the pieces to the puzzle that you need to be successful. You know what I'm saying? You don't win these by yourself. I didn't win these by myself. It's just like a good example. A franchise that's successful. The New England Patriots. I'm not a lover of any team, but they were always well organized. Belichick, a great coach, knows all the rules. I know the game. I was a sports bettor. I've won a lot of money playing betting sports. I've lost a lot of money betting sports at whatever I did.
Yeah.
And I shoot for numbers. You know what I'm saying? I owe people. People owe me. I've won a lot of money and didn't get paid. And I've lost a lot of money and sometimes couldn't pay, you know, different times in my life, you know?
Right.
But when I came here, I knew to these leagues, I knew what it took to win. I had the best. I bowled with a lot of lefties. When I bowled in these houses, that's what you needed to be successful. You know, and back in the day, that's just how it was. And I love bowling. And another thing, when I bowled, I was trying to win the third game pot. I'm not trying to win the first game pot for $50 or $60, $70. I'm trying to win the 3, 4, 5, 600 the last game. That's what it was about for me, you know? Right. So, you know,
Yeah.
But yeah, I won a lot of those leagues. It may be over exaggerated a lot 4 years in a row, but because I'm not going to put I don't want any credit for something that I didn't do. I'll take all the credit for the things that I did do.
Yeah. Hey, look, Anthony said, how good was Tony Burrell back then?
Okay. I've had this conversation a few times with a few different people. Bowling has changed. And I failed to recognize that in that Sunday Vegas League, I also bowled with Tony Burrell when I first initially started.
Yeah.
But my connection with Larry was different because of his brother and somebody that I knew. You know somebody a little bit better. And I wasn't known in the bowling alley or anything at that time.
Right.
But Tony, when I came up, was well known. And Tony was a bowler. Okay. When I saw him, Tony threw the ball extremely well. And what I remember about Tony then was that Tony got injured. I believe it was his ring finger got injured.
Uh-huh.
And it took a long time to heal. If I remember right, it wasn't the same. Looking at it, and things like that change you. But what I saw, Tony could bowl on what was out there then. I can't speak because I didn't bowl with Tony too many other places. He wasn't in my circle at the time.
Yeah.
And he's had some events in his life. He was very close to his dad, and I think he stopped bowling for a period of time when that happened.
Right.
But Tony went on tour and, may have not had success there, as well as Larry didn't have that great success as we would have expected. But man, I used to go out and watch Larry bowl at Gable House when, I made it a point to be there to watch him, because I wanted to be there. I wanted to support him. But these dudes, as I learned, and I didn't know a lot then because I think I had a gift of being able to, I could watch more and I could tell you how good somebody really was more than I could tell you why they were good. Or I wouldn't have been a good coach because I couldn't tell you exactly what to do, but I can see what you need to do. You know, so, but Tony then threw the ball extremely well. But lanes then were different. We bowled on wood. Synthetic came in. The game changed. The patterns got short. So, you know, like I said, back then, Tony was a player. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. But I only saw him for a short period of time, and then I didn't see him anymore because he didn't bowl in my circle, you know? So I can't really speak on how good he was. You know, it was like I had certain cutoffs in my life.
Look, Tracy Hicks, she said,
that's my girl right there. That's my girl, Lefty, for sure.
Yeah, whatever. We don't care about that. We're not even talking about lefties right now.
I love lefties. You have to know how to use them. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, if you went to a house and it was a lefty house, don't be there. That's just how I looked at it. I used to go to Southwest. Bone was there. Bone killed the house. People call them Bones. It wasn't Bones. It was Bone. I don't care what people say. They call him Bone. Bone. It was Bone because he looked like one bone. But Bone was in that bowling alley. Bone might have been decent everywhere else, but at Southwest, hey, I used to go to Southwest and bowl. I come out with a ring on my ball every single time. So I had an article. I meant to send it to Dre because there was a little question about lane 8 and 9 and 9 and 10, which was funny. But on 9 and I don't know what lane I bowled it on, but I saw the article that I had shot 300 there. I didn't even remember I shot 300 there. But I shot 300 there, but I actually threw 18 in a row in that house. That's what the article said. So I was kind of surprised at that because that was hard to do in that bowling alley, dog. That bowling alley was tough and rough. But Larry, Tony, Chip, getting back to that question.
Who was the best?
This is what I'll say about that. Tony was not better than Larry, in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't know what he was before he got injured. I can't speak on them terms. As far as Chip, I saw Chip when Chip came back. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't think that Chip Pettiford was as good as he was when he was probably in his 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old time. I would believe that he probably would have made it on tour then. Yeah. I'm just guessing by what I know and what I saw as Chip coming back. Chip threw the ball extremely well, and how he threw the ball then was really conducive to how the lanes were. And he was extremely accurate. His form was, perfect for what you had to do, balance and everything. But what I will say, she said 3 names there. But to me, the best bowler that I think could have been out there was a guy named Tyrone Lewis.
That's what they just asked about. What about Tyrone Lewis?
Tyrone Lewis. Man, Tyrone, boy. I saw Tyrone had some issues in his life. When I saw Tyrone, the first time I ever saw him, he didn't bowl any leagues. Tyrone would come into the bowling alley and get a pair and practice. He would basically go where nobody would see him. And I had an eye. I always knew what I was looking at when I looked at somebody fairly quick. I knew if you had talent.
Right.
So when I first saw Tyrone, I was like, wow. Straight wow. So I worked my way down to see. And Tyrone was a guy that wasn't approachable. he was, he wasn't really approachable. He didn't speak to people. Unless he knew you from history.
Yeah.
So when I would walk by and, kind of see, I just know he came in with 2 balls. He threw his balls, and I ended up bowling with Tyrone at one point through Sunny Dew. We would go to a league. There was a big league in Garden Grove. I can't remember the name of the bowling alley. All I remember was getting off the freeway, and back then that was pretty much the only in and out. And I remember stopping in and out, and it was Tyrone would basically sub on the team whenever. Matter of fact, he might have bowled because I bowled. It was Larry Stevens, Sonny Dew. I'm embarrassed that I don't know the other bowler's name because it was a 4-man team, and myself. And then we would rotate certain players. One was Tyrone, and I also bowled with a very good bowler at that time who bowled out of Southwest, who, when he came back too, I don't think he was as good as a bowler, but he was dead accurate also. But games had changed, was Mike Frederick. It was either Frederick or Frederick, and he worked at that bowling alley for years. He was the desk man there, and he was a player.
I remember Mike.
Okay, but Tyrone Lewis, from that point on, we became friends. We had certain things in common. We went to the high roller together, where I can say that I had 0 success there. I never really bowled well. The conditions for me were tough. I wasn't a bowler that bowled well under those different kind of conditions. I was not well educated on equipment. Didn't know, people drilled my balls. I told them basically what I needed it to do, what my balls were doing. I don't know much about weights. I didn't have a thumb in my ball, which I had problems with. And I went off a tangent again. So I actually used to room a few times with Tyrone Lewis.
Yeah.
And hey, we had some, spots that we stayed that were shady, but we were bowling, and I had a great time with Tyrone, and most people like that are quiet like that. They're just different. But like I said, Tyrone had missed bowling for an extended period of time.
Right.
Me looking at Tyrone and picturing in him when he was a young man, strong at the line, got the ball down the lane, could hit the ball effortlessly with power. I mean, composed,
Right.
No flinching. I mean, strong at the line, stronger than any of these bowlers that I even see today. Tyrone, if he could have ever made it out there, like I said, he went through some, I don't know exactly what. Tyrone was a bowler, man. That was one of the best bowlers that I ever seen until, modern days, and then a guy like Robert Smith came along that changed the game. And that was that. Did I miss a question that you were asked? Did I go off tangent again?
No, you good.
Gotta put me in line, dog. You got to put me in line.
We got a lot of people on here. Nicole Johnson.
That's my girl. Nicole, the nice young lady. Always make me smile. Nicole. Nick got that. I know she got that money. I know. I heard about. I got phone calls about that money.
Man, big money.
Congratulations, Nick, at hitting a plateau. Those things are hard to come by. And hey, Nick, thanks for being a teacher. You know what I'm saying? For teaching this youth. Hey, my kids, like I said, I got a son with autism. It's rough, partner. You know what I'm saying? I love my boy. We got a long road ahead and a road that will never end. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of work on my hands. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I understand Miss Blackman, what she got on her hands. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. I love it. He's probably helped me. He's helped me in a lot of ways, Oh, but yeah. I got a lot of work with my look. And I meant to show you what autism does, So,
my man, look, my man.
Here, I'm real quick. I got a lot of these iPads here. and they all destroyed, you know, because my son is rough with them. You know what I'm saying? He loves iPad, but they all need to be repaired. They've been repaired. So I got bills here, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm buying iPads. Go ahead. Let's go. Let's roll with
Hey,
it.
you good, bro. Hey, look, we're going to go off of bowling for a minute. Because like I said, a lot of people know you. A lot of people know you for bowling. We're going to talk about family.
Yes.
Dude, tell us about, look, I told you, I did some homework. I got some stories.
I know you do.
Tell us about the portrait your mom got from Germany. What does it mean to your family? Give us that little story.
Wow. Portrait. I mean, are they okay? So they must be talking about a picture that I have. I don't know. Is it a portrait? I'm not clear on it.
The one that was shipped from Germany that's been in the family forever.
Okay.
I told you I did my homework.
Okay, it's all good. Let me see. I got to see what I can unplug here because I have it. Okay. It's probably hard to see.
Yeah.
But you can see it here. It's a painting. It has a guy playing an instrument, playing it to Jesus, and then you got a bunch of angels there you can see.
Yeah.
Okay. So the story that I can come up with is my growing up in Germany, going through these wars. My mom was born just before World War II. And my grandmother, my grandmother lived in an apartment there. Everything in Germany back then was all built up, 4 stories high. So she had some people that lived above her that were Jewish. And back then, obviously, with all, you know, with Hitler and stuff, he rounded up all the Jews. So these people, they would just stay there, and you know, because they were rounding everybody up, and my grandmother would feed them all the time. You know, she would send food up by my mom and make sure they had something to eat because hey, they were gathering people up. So in respect, the father of the household brought them this picture right here. And I don't believe it's an original because I've tried to do my research on it and I actually found something on it that I kind of misplaced. But that's what it meant. In respect, they sent that to my mom, you know, to my grandmother. And I actually have pictures. So it dates back to the 40s because I have pictures of my family in Germany, my grandmother. You know, like I said, you can see this direct picture in the background, you know. So, you know, my grandmother was, you know, she was a good person, you know. Back then they had coal, so she sold coal back in the day. I stutter a lot, man, because I'm nervous, and you got me all balanced with that picture. But that's
sure
what that is today, man. I still have.
Look, the teacher came out and said the Diary of Anne Frank tells that story.
All good, absolutely. I've never looked at a lot of history, so you're going to get me on a lot of those things. But I got you.
All right. Hey, I got another question for you.
Let's roll with it.
I told you we're gonna be on family for a second, man. Because like you got bowling, you got family. So hey, I know. But hey, how did losing both of your parents impact your life?
Wow. It's tough,
dog. I touched a little button. I know.
Yeah, man. It's hard, dude. You know, I felt like that when you told me about your pops, dog. I saw it on your you know. Man. And there was another brother on there that lost his. You know, I can't remember who he was real quick. I had the notes on it, but I can't remember. But you know, my dad was a good dude. You know, he was it's hard, dude. Sorry, man.
Hey, you good? Hey, you good?
Yeah, I didn't know my dad was my best friend until I was like 35, man. When he got sick, he got sick when I was like 35. So, I thought about it driving up to LV because they had moved to LV. That was hard because I always had somewhere here to go because I was here, there, everywhere, but home was always home here.
Right.
And they always thought I would move to LV, but I had no interest in LV because anything I wanted to do was right here in LA,
Yeah.
But my dad was a giver, man. And then my mom, a lot of my friends, when we stayed at my mom's house. You know what I'm saying? When people struggled, I sent them up there to live with my mom, But, it's hard without, I had some, and it's sad that, going through the times we go in today, a lot of, our brothers and sisters, look, my mom was white, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my mom was a writer, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, my dad helped a lot of brothers, you know what I'm saying? But she, my mom was white, but she was a writer, dog, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's tough going through war, having having my dad accepted by that family, which he was accepted. They loved my dad. You couldn't but love my father. One story I told you, my dad used to train fighters, used to fight.
Yeah.
I remember being in front of my house when my dad was a storyteller, the best storyteller. And I'd be with my dad and I'd be with my friends, and all of a sudden he started telling stories. I'm like, Pops, what's happening? How come you didn't tell me these stories? But you get the story. So one day I was in the front house and he said something about me. I probably got a little sensitive about it. And I kind of body blowed him, and he was like, boy, watch it. He was like, there was a reason I didn't teach you how to fight. You know what I'm saying? To make sure you can always go upside my head,
Yeah.
True thing. I wasn't a good student in school, but I used to spend a lot of time going to a racetrack with my dad. We used to drive to Del Mar, San Diego to play the horses and Santa Anita. And that's how I learned how to read. My dad, I wasn't good in school, but every time I got something wrong, he knew exactly what the next word, no matter what it was. He went to school many years that he didn't have to. He was just an educated guy, but I got popped up the side of my head every time I got some words wrong,
And see, that's the and it's not because it's your dad, it's because it's the best friend part, dude. It's that
yeah,
mom,
man.
dude,
Yeah, man.
and no one will ever understand that.
Yeah. I remember on 38th and Woodlawn, my dad would come home, from work, and everybody, the kids on the block would come over. My dad pulled change out of his pocket. A lot of old brothers had change always in their pocket. And it didn't matter whether 5 people came or 25 people came. Everybody got something. You know what I'm saying? Back then, we had the little trucks on the block, the donut shops, the ice cream trucks, the candy. Yep. They were all in these vans coming up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it wasn't MLK yet. It was Santa Barbara. You know what I'm saying? You probably don't remember that, but was Santa Barbara. By the way, I drove down Rodeo Drive from La Cienega, and I was with my brother-in-law, and he was like, Obama. I'm like, Obama, when did they change this? See, I didn't even know. And it's a great thing because all I can think about is I know it attaches to MLK. I remember when they did something for Obama. I didn't know they renamed that street after Obama. Yeah. Great thing.
Dang. What can you tell our viewers, dude? Because like I said, losing your dad, that was heartbreaking. Yeah. But losing your mom, the way,
my mom was, man, my mom was, man, my mom loved me to death, man. I don't give my mom even enough credit. You know what I'm saying? When I pulled all this stuff out, I find cards, you know what I'm saying, of my mom. I was a little bit distracted because I was always out there, you know what I'm saying? But my mom, man, I can't really answer all the, that right now, man. You caught me. I need time to think. Maybe we need a second session, dog. I'll be ready for you.
Yeah,
But,
you can't be ready, bro. Hey, trust me. Look, and I'm gonna keep keep it 100 with you, bro. Like,
yeah.
I told you I did my homework because I
Yeah.
knew you, but I didn't know you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I said, dude, let me call my people. I know a lot of people in the bowling scene.
I know you do. I know you do. I know. I see the people you hang with. If you hanging with them, I know you know a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? I know you know a lot of them. By the way, this David Terrell.
Diesel.
Now, he writes on here the legendary Royale. Okay. That's what I see at the top. My thing hasn't scrolled down. But Diesel, all I can say is this guy touched me, man. Unreal. Bowling needs to grasp. You guys need to grasp this guy. And I was highly jealous. He had all the girls on there, man. This guy is the man. And he's married. Stay married, dog. But he had all the girls. So this guy is a great guy right here, man. Just going through it. Let's roll. I'm sorry.
No, you good. Hey, you're good, bro.
What was the question? I'm sorry. I forgot what the question was.
No, we ain't got no question. Hey, we talked about, I asked you about your mom. And when you, because mom was in Vegas. I told you, I did my homework.
Yeah.
Mom's was in Vegas. And, dude, just to hear about it hurt my soul.
Yeah. Well, my mom passed in a really rough way. I did everything to try to protect her the best way that I can. Out there as an older person, it gets very hot and very cold. Every summer, I'm looking out there and I'm like, it starts to get hot. I try to bring her home. I try to bring her wherever I'm at in LA.
Yeah.
Mom, it's too hot to be out here. In the winter, it's 25 sometimes, and she was on a mountain. You know what I'm saying? No sidewalks. And I'm like, bus stop too far to make it places. I'm like, Mom, come to LA, stay, and I'd have to lie to her and. Hey, I'm gonna bring you home next week. You know what I'm saying? And manipulate her. She get angry at me. She want to go back home. I take her home. The neighbor's like, Miss Miles, why are you here? Why don't you go back with your son? Because everybody's worried about my mom, but she loved it there. That's where she sees my father. She loved my dad to death. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what she related to, and that's where she wanted to be. And I lost my mom. Pulling weeds at the house. In 100-degree temperature, I kind of lost track of things, because I'm always checking what the weather is there. It was cool for a long time in LV.
Yeah.
That one Saturday, it got hot, and I actually noticed it, but I didn't make any preparations to make it out there. And, I had something to do, whatever, and that Sunday came along, I called her on the phone and I'm like, Mom, what's going on? I was out there. I'm like, why are you going out there? Why are you going out there? It's too hot. The property didn't mean anything, but she always wanted to keep her stuff neat. Right. And I said, look, I was like, so that next day was May 31st. And I spent a lot of time at Hollywood Park, the racetrack. So that morning I remember the day was May 31st. They imploded it, and it meant a lot because I spent a lot of my years there, a lot of my, along with Charles, along with, all my good friends, James Gaskin, a lot of my friends that didn't even bowl, Lisa Chambers, we used to go to the racetrack. I mean, there are a lot of people that played horses that played, that bowled. Yeah. So anyway, that 31st, I was there when it imploded. I stayed up all night. I was there in the morning, had it on video, and I go home and I started calling my mom and there was no answer, and, I'm concerned. I called one of the guys that used to, thank God, his name is Fabian. He used to always look out for my mom. And I'm like, he didn't answer the phone. I'm like, hey, can you left a message? Can you go check on my mom? I called my next neighbor, her. she didn't call me right back. She was busy, whatever. And eventually that guy went over there and, they found my mom had passed, probably from a heat stroke, you know what I'm saying? And, it was hot. So that's how I lost my mom. It's sad, I accepted. And I told myself that I've done, it was pretty easy for me to accept because I told myself I've tried to keep her out of danger and I did whatever, but there's only so much you can help somebody at a certain time. And I did the best possible, I could do, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, rest in peace. God bless my mom. She loved her son, man, immensely. And a lot of my friends, everybody always asks about my mom and my dad. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Guys, dude. Hey, I just want to give Royale the utmost due for opening his heart and his soul and everything to us on this show. Because like I said, dude, like you guys have no idea.
Man, you got to give me some time to thank some people, dog.
You can thank whoever you want, bro.
Okay.
This is your time.
But I'm going to tell you, we didn't cover a lot of things, man, but we got to cover, I have a lot for you. So if you want to get back with me, but
let's go.
First, let me say your top 4 interviews, in my opinion, and I saw 90% of them. Diesel, Gerald Johnson. Thank you, Gerald, for giving me inspiration for my kids. And man, congratulations on that Hall of Fame. People that bowl back there, it was a lot, they bowl in snow, they bowl in whatever. We don't have that out here. We've lost all our bowling alleys. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many they've lost there, but people bowling back there, wow. Gail Rogers, somebody, I loved her interview. Nice person, don't know her. And she's, like I said, knowledgeable. Charles for putting her on point. Andre Rounds. Okay, that was my road dog, man. We rode together. Thanks for introducing me to DMX. I'm in the car driving to Del Rio. Turn this shit off. You know what I'm saying? However, once I got introduced to it, wow, DMX was putting it down, dog. Thanks, Dre, for that. And I used to have to hear them raps in the car, dog, from Dre. You know what I'm saying? And DJs, you had a couple DJs on there. Okay, those were just the 4 people on interview. Y'all people on here, y'all need to check out them interviews. Go back on Brandon. He's doing great things. Man, hold on, wait, don't you?
Hey, Royale, this is your time, bro.
All good. I appreciate it.
All day.
Now I got to thank Marlena Rogers. That was my girlfriend at the time. She rolled with me a whole lot. Now, I miss my seniors. Okay, these were people that were my age back when I started to bowl, and as they've gone up, and older people than that, because people like your mom, these people, we aren't made like they were made. The struggles that they went through, and to be as level-headed and knowledgeable and to be able to help us, we're not like that. So the few that are around, hey, take care of them in these bowling alleys. Aubrey Harrison, Matt and Maddie Harrison, they be at Gardena Bowl. They organize them things. They're there. Respect. I know people respect them. I don't have to say that. But, hey, appreciate these people. They're great. Like I said, Al Bailey, I went there looking for him many times. A big influence to me. I always look for Pops Al Bailey. Milena, I love you. Damon, don't give anybody 35 pins no more. I saw it on your thing. He was giving somebody 35 pins. Damon, don't give 35 pins up. Tommy Newman, I spoke to him. Eric Russell was along with Al for looking out for me in the bowling alley, letting me bowl. We worked together, helping me out. I don't know if you know Eric Russell.
I know Eric Russell.
Eric was a good, really good cat. Again, I'm going to say Harvey. Marilyn Black, thank you. She took in a cousin that didn't know was my cousin. She's taking people in. Marilyn Black. Like I said, Deborah Henry, Maxine Paul, good woman bowler, like you said. Carol Thrower, Betty Davis. They were Felicia Tripp, Nedra Jerry, Delana Thompson, who was Chip Pettiford's girlfriend back in the day. They were bowlers at that time.
Yeah.
And I know it because from credit from people that I knew. Lisa Chambers. Thank you, Lisa, for always being down for me.
I don't know if I know Lisa Chambers.
Huh?
Who is Lisa Chambers?
Lisa Adams. You know Lisa Adams.
Hey, look. Hey, I'm like Chambers. I don't know.
I got you, but that's what I knew her before Lisa Adams. So sometimes I say different names, because that's what I knew him at before. Even when she was probably married, I'm calling her Lisa, who supports me at my birthday's tomorrow. She'll be at my birthday little get together. So my birthday's tomorrow. I'll be 53. I'm getting old, guys. I feel like I'm 25, but my body doesn't feel it. I feel it, but I walk around like I'm 25. I run like I'm 25, but I don't feel like I'm 25. The late Joe Swift, he would appreciate that these days,
Man.
And the reason I bring him up, because y'all probably not going to be touching too many hands. Y'all shouldn't be coming up with this thing that's been going down. But I remember Joe, you could never touch his hand. I used to always tease him.
Hey, real quick, I shot my first 300 when Joe was there, bro.
Is that right?
Joe, I was like, everybody like high-fiving me, and I went to go high-five Joe, and he just did like this.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Joe,
hey, it hurt my feelings.
Joe was my man. Joe was my man. Man, you had all these guys I know on here. You had Jordan Asperg on here, who was a character, and he's talked about who his doubles partner was, a guy named David Billings. Yeah. I met David Billings at the High Roller. Okay. I saw a guy down there bowling, threw the ball good, that was nervous. This dude would tremble. But for the money, he was bowling guys that I knew. And I'm like, why is this little kid bowling these guys? But he could throw the shot for the money, trembling. I ain't never seen somebody nervous, trembling, that could throw the ball for the money. So I give him credit. So you had one guy that you bowled, Chris Barnes. Chris Barnes has got to be, who I do not know, top 5 bowlers of all time. I seen him bowl, I think, on TV before I even saw him at the High Roller. Threw the ball phenomenal. Okay. Really? The longevity that he's had, incredible. I've seen him recently on TV, maybe unbelievable how that guy throws the ball. And somebody brought up David Ozio, who was dead accurate. I was a guy on accuracy. That's who brought up fallback, was Gerald. People don't even know what that means in bowling. There was, when these lanes were flooded, you used to have to play 4th and 5th arrow, and you point. People don't know about this. These bowlers don't know about this. Now, I didn't bowl with a thumb, but I could play 5. I could play 10. I could play 25. I couldn't hook the ball from 25 to the gutter and get it back like a Robert Smith. That wasn't my game. But anywhere between there, I could play anything. I know what I was capable of. I never showed what I was capable of, probably because a little neck injury I had late. That little series we bowled, I was a little disappointed that I was low man on the totem pole with Dre, Robert, and them, because I remember that day vividly. I didn't miss the hole. Them dudes missed. They threw some weak shots, but they scored. So they gave me my little 698. I threw the ball better than all of them that day. Trust that, okay? So, let me see what else I got here. Shout out to the Lemons family. Thank you, Sharice. Thank you, Ronnie Lemons. The Richardson family. That's when I first started bowling at Cal. You know all of them. The Zelaya family. I got to thank Charles for being a dear friend to me. Like I said, Andre, Vernon, they all looked out for me. They knew I was a character. Sometimes it was probably hard walking next to me. You know what I'm saying? But the Rounds family, man, Andre's mom, quiet as a church mouse, knowledgeable, the nicest lady in the whole bowling alley. You would never even know who she was. his dad, so a lot of things, I revert to, it's funny. I sent you that Last Dance thing. When I watch Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
see back in them days, dog, people want to compare. There was no comparison to him. Don't get me wrong. There were ballers, but there wasn't. And I relate to a lot to that because you have to relate to things that you were great at in life and can you see what those people, some people will never see those kind of greatness in what you do. Like I said, I wasn't the best bowler, but I was the best. What I did, I organized my stuff. I was prepared. I thought way ahead of. I can't say that I've done that in everything in my life, but with bowling, I took my pride in that. Bang bang, you had that DJ on there. Bang bang.
Yep.
Bang bang. Where were you at when I was bowling for that 600 and that 1100? I was looking for you because I was looking with brothers to gamble. Where were y'all at? I'm still trying to bring me out of retirement. We gambling like that. Like I said, man, that guy touched me. Jerry Johnson. Wow. And again, you got to give me contact with this guy because I got to know what's cracking with Jerry. Big Jerry, good looking out. Man, I got so much stuff on here, man. I don't even know what to say. Victor. You had a guy on here, Victor. I called him Teddy Bear. I don't know if they called him Teddy Bear.
Oh, Victor Varner?
That's probably who it was. But Victor, I'm glad you weren't around when I was bowling because you told me, and he was saying on there how anybody had a score, he got it. So I'm glad Victor wasn't around because he would have seen my bad scores and good scores, and it would have been broadcasted. So I'm glad Victor wasn't around when I was bowling.
No.
So another bowler that I bowled with that I thought was great was Gip Lentine, who was a pro bowler, just in these parts. He was good at the time. I had Larry Gray. Here, I got one thing to say about Larry Gray. I was bowling at Keystone in the big Monday Night League. Back when I was bowling on Monday night, real quick, Monday night had two leagues that were big money. It was Monday at Keystone and it was Monday at Del Rio.
Right.
So the Monday didn't exist anymore. It fell apart Monday at Keystone. But a guy came into the bowling alley one day. I was bowling with a guy named Charlie Marshall, who was a very good lefty, and I was bowling with Larry Gray. A guy comes into the bowling alley, and he says, "Hey, Larry, are you Larry Gray?" He said, "Yeah, I'm Larry." He said, "I have a ball here that I'm going to bring you next week, and we want your measurements." I looked up the wrong name, but it was an Excalibur. Initially, I looked up who made the first storm ball. But then I remember it was Excalibur. I believe his name was Cooper. But he said that I'm going to have a ball for you, and I'm going to bring it to you. Now, Keystone was dead tough. They were flooded. I can tell you a story about Charles came in there. Charles was throwing the ball in the trough. It was dead trembling, didn't know what hit him because bowling was different. You had to be able to play. He was not prepared for this. So anyway, the guy came in. He said, okay, he gave him his measurements. He came in with the ball. It didn't have a name on it, nothing. Larry came in with this ball, was the first resin ball.
And they say Steve Cooper is his name. Steve
Cooper. I remember the name Cooper in my head. I tried to look up, but I came up with the guy that created Storm, and that wasn't the name. I said, I don't, So then I happened to speak to Andre, and he threw out the name Excalibur right away because I was going to say Storm. Anyway, Larry Gray threw that ball. The first game didn't miss the hole. I saw things that I'd never seen a ball do when it hit the pocket for a guy like him because he didn't have power, but he was really accurate. It was accuracy and where you hit the pocket, how you hit the pocket to get your carry back in those days. So the next game, the dude shot, I can't remember, it was 299 or 300. But it was phenomenal how you put a ball like this and a guy that's accurate that can do it. And that's when, like I said, the game changed. I saw certain people that I didn't respect that just started shooting numbers. I'm like, how hard I worked with these resin and urethane balls, and for them to be able to do this, and that's another thing. Like I said, average were lower there. The bar, like Jerome, the Hall of Famer said from
Gerald
said, that's when people were shooting 620, 630. If you shot that, you got the money. You know, and when I got to your thing, I'm proud to say that I shot 800 at Holiday Bowl. That was a phenomenal feat back then. Then when this resin came out, people started shooting 800s. They're not capable of shooting 800, man.
Look, Larry Gray and Bobby Laster.
Bobby Laster. Wow, how can I forget that name?
They won the PCB.
Dude, Bobby Laster, though. Man, that dude was a player, man. Wow, that dude was a player. Yeah, that's one of the dude. I've forgotten all these names. I wish I had sheets from back in the day I used to bowl. You know, I didn't keep them back there, but that's a name that I don't think anybody on your list would even know. That's an interview you need to get. Like I said, I didn't have a good relationship late in my bowling with Sonny Dew. We had some issues, but Sonny Dew, partner, been there for 45 years, has seen everything. He's the first person that took me on the road to Cincinnati, Ohio. I won the Oinky in 1989, all events, for $20,000. And when these Al Bailey, 92nd, all these cats always used to go out there. They came back. Royale, they looking for you out there. They don't even know what you look like because I hit them pretty hard. And they didn't even know who I was. They didn't even know the scores until they saw it the next day. But, you know, I put in some work there. But I can say the previous year that I went there, I didn't bowl well.
Yeah.
I didn't bowl well. But, you know, I got good all of a sudden, you know. And with the experience of I bowled the Peterson Classic. I bowled these tournaments in Detroit where we went. These houses were dead tough. I mean, they had certain houses that had heavier pins. They were offset purposely, you know.
What about EG?
EG. Now, EG, was it a good bowler, I would say back then. But as I saw EG, I don't want to say older, but I think lanes were different. So when they were that way, scores were different. There was a different part of accuracy. EG was a good bowler. But as it evolved, like I said, you would have a different bowler, a good bowler today than you would have had then. And the bowlers of then would not be good bowlers probably today. They would probably be decent bowlers, but they wouldn't be the great bowlers that they were then. You have accuracy and how you get to the pocket. I see these balls hit, and I'm like, how did the pins fall? Because, I mean, they fly out. They didn't fly like that. You had to make them go. You know what I'm saying? When we bowled,
right.
It was, man, it's different. It's way different, you know? Like I said, from 85 to to 2000 was a whole different story.
Hey, you know it's crazy when you talk about this and you talk about the accuracy and all of that. You know, I hang with Charles and Vern and you know Jello and we sit there and talk about bowling all the time. And me and Charles always has, you know, we have our conversations. And when watching Charles bowl, like I said, Charles is pretty accurate. And Charles really hates. He was like, dude, that guy suck. And it's so funny because Charles is just he's just straightforward.
Hey,
He doesn't care.
Let me tell you, I've spent a lot of time with Charles. I mean, we've done a lot of things. We've been through a lot of things. Him for me and me for him. Okay. Charles knows exactly what he's looking at when he's out there. Okay. And I'm going to say that, and I say that because what he gets involved in, he learns how to break it down, okay? I've done many things with him with sports betting. I'm going to put it out there. Charles knows how to look at things a lot different than anybody else, and he's actually enlightened me in things, and I was able to look at it differently too and evolve it from how he looked at it. You know, sometimes I needed for somebody to show me something, but you know, I used to tell Charles, I used to tell Vern, I used to tell them all the time. I'm like, look, lefties play outside. Okay, that's all they played. They played from 10 to the gutter. They never played inside. And the shot was inside. And the reason they don't play inside is because they don't have to play inside. They didn't have to. So that's, you know, so that's how I looked at it. But when you go to these bowling alleys, I needed lefties to win. But Vernon learned how to play inside. Charles learned how to play inside. One story about Vernon. Vernon had an eagerness to learn. Vernon started bowling with me when he first started. We became very good friends. I took Vernon. So as he evolved, Vernon came back because Vernon wasn't bowling with me. Vernon had improved because he was interested. Vernon never had that backswing. Vernon developed that backswing working hard, practicing.
Yeah.
And from that point, I saw Vern had talent. I'm like, Vern wanted to bowl the high roll. I said, Vern, you gotta be ready for it. I said, man, these dudes pop bowl out there. I know they practice. I've seen it when I go visit my mom, and they gambling out there. Vern said he wanted to go. I'm like, let's go, Vern. We went down there, and I got to give respect to, because I told him, you have to learn. Okay,
You're still talking?
Yeah, go over there, young man. I'm busy. Sorry. So I told him, I said, Vern, you got to see these dudes. These dudes can play. If you want to be ready, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
So we went down there, and another guy, Daryl Smith. I saw Daryl when Daryl was nothing in the bowling alley. When I was nothing in the bowling alley. Another bowler at the same time, Kim Terrell, player for real. She was a girl that was a bowler. Now I saw her evolve from nothing when I used to bowl with her on the lanes, which she's not going to remember, at the showboat.
Yeah.
To I'm knowing she lived up north, and the next time I saw her, worked hard and was a bowler. So Daryl worked with Vern. We got Vern ready. Vern went to the high roller and performed at a very high level and was successful. I couldn't have been more prouder of this guy. But we didn't have coaches out here. We didn't have that. And you got to give respect to a guy like Vern, who went to different – I see he went to Mark Baker. I see he went to Get Blentine. You want to get better, you got to go to these guys. And that's who showed me. Vern showed me, Royale, this is what you have to do to be successful. I went and practiced with Vern. He tried to show me. I just couldn't do it. So I knew.
What about another lefty, Steve Guerreri?
Steve shot numbers, man. I can't say nothing about Steve. Steve was at the top of the heap all the time. Good lefty. You know, I don't know. I never saw. See, for me, you have to be able to play 20, 15, 10. I've never seen them have to play there.
Right.
But I'm sure that bowlers had to change from 2000 to 2010 and from 2000 to 2020. So I don't know if they had to or if he could. So you get so accustomed to doing one thing. Can you change your game? Is very hard to do. Yeah. So but Steve Guerreri was a very, I mean, he was one of the best lefties in town there. Like I said, back then it was like, for me, a Charlie Marshall. I didn't really have the list of all the ones, but Charlie Marshall was a good lefty. But because I bowled with him, the name came to me. But I know I'm missing a lot of them there.
Hey, look, he said, ask him if he remembers how much money he got from Chris Warren at the high roller betting on 210 or better.
I don't remember. My memory is on that is pretty bad. Some people brought up things to me that I even forgot. You know, I can't remember. Dre told me something. I'm like, damn, Dre, I forgot about that. You know, so you know, another thing. I wish I knew about these TNBA tournaments that are in Florida. Y'all going to Texas. I wish I knew about all these things. I would have been going. You know, but we didn't know. Like I said, we had one or two TNBA leagues. See, I think the TNBA leagues were probably at Manchester Western, which was no longer there.
No, it's a dance club now.
Oh no, I know that, but what I mean
I'm
by
just saying,
it's not a bowling alley.
that's
I know that.
Yeah.
I'm well aware of that. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. David Lee. Yes, sir. He married a dear friend of mine. I can't remember at that time. Is bringing back memories of yeah.
Christy.
Man, Christy. I missed you, Christy. They moved, man. I couldn't believe it, man. But
Yeah,
I'm
they're
glad
in
very happy.
Jersey. I think they're in Jersey. They're on the East Coast somewhere.
Wow, David Lee. Man, these are nice, good people, man. And man, when I got out of bowling, I didn't have a lot of friends because what I did was more single, things that I could do by myself. I spent a lot of times, I play a little poker, so I spent a lot of time doing that. But
Yeah,
I miss my relationships from night to night, day to day. These were my families every Monday night. Whoever I talked to, whoever I saw. I mean, I did it every day, every morning, So, and I love doing it. I shot a lot of pool. I had a lot of fun doing that. When people walked in there, these characters, hey, I go to a lot of black comedy. I cannot. So when you in a pool hall and you see all these brothers coming in here, they all got stories. I just start cracking up. They don't even have to say nothing. I just picture and see it's like it was better than a barbershop. It was like crazy, man, the things that I've seen,
Hey, what about, look, they want to know, they say you name some bowlers. What about Burdell Hooks? Man,
see, Burdell, that's funny. I forgot that I bowled doubles with Burdell at Southwest in the league there. Burdell Hooks, when I first started bowling, I heard about Burdell Hooks. Didn't see him. I think he had quit bowling for a period of time. But I will tell you, I used to bowl a Thursday night league at Inglewood. Burdell came in there. Burdell used to just like fluff the ball. Had a nice little rotation to it. Had a nice little different backswing.
Yeah.
And when he came in there and he would shoot numbers, his ball would kind of like spin a little bit, and I wasn't jealous of too many people, but some reason I was jealous of him winning. I was mad because he was coming there taking my money. So, and back then you didn't have to shoot a lot, 220, 230. There were too many people capable of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Burdell was coming in. I'm like, who's this dude? Nicest guy. I try to get a hold of you, Burdell, to help you. I know my boy got sick for a minute. I was looking for you, Burdell. Nicest guy. I loved his dad, man. His dad. See, we talking about the generation above that. Wow, man. Wow-wee, man. I miss these guys. I'm still looking for them. Some of them I go in the bowling alley when I see them. Yeah. They don't remember me. You know what I'm saying? It's because of their age, or they had just affected me so much, man. I miss the older folks, man.
Hey, let's see. They shoot names out here, man. Alton Walker. You know who that is?
No, I don't.
What about Will Young? He want to know about Will Young.
Will, funniest guy in the bowling alley. I loved Will, man.
But he's not Big Will anymore. He's Little Will.
I know that. He's Big Will to me for life. I've seen the little things on here. You know what I'm saying? But, Will was so supportive. You know what I'm saying? Good, bad, or indifferent. Always had the funniest thing to say and would get to the point. I love you, Will. Good. Hey, I love you, Will.
Hey, Sharice said Cleo Hicks.
Oh, man. Okay, here we go. So, man, Cleo, straight baller, okay? Bowler. Now, not the most powerful guy. That was her teacher. Lessons to Sharice. That's who taught Sharice how to bowl. And back then, Sharice was a player. You know what I'm saying? And, things were different. You know what I'm saying? The nicest guy. I had a lot in common to him because he used to play horses. A guy I respect because his mom was ill, used to take care of her. When Cleo got sick, I used to go visit him. You know what I'm saying? He lived in the 40s, I think. I couldn't wait to see Cleo, man. Certain people, Vernon talks about these old cats, how he used to hang with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was exactly alike. He took me to the crap house before with him. It's incredible when you go there. you know, because it's a different respect, a different way. Man, I love Cleo Hicks, man. Like I said, Pops, 92nd, you know. Shout out to Joe 3. I used to love Joe 3 a lot, you know. Used to watch him bowl. Joe, you were always tough, man, but you were a good guy. Karen Jones.
Dude.
Karen Rose, I'm sorry.
This
Donna
is crazy
Jones.
because they shooting all these names out. You bringing out everybody, bro.
I know them all. You know what I'm saying? I loved all these people.
Hey, just listen. I'm gonna give you a couple names right now that I see on here: Anthony Bly, Walter Harrison, Harlan Whitehead.
Harrison. Man. You see, you bringing up the memory, dog. You know what I'm saying? I mean, times were different. You know what I'm saying? These are like, man, people I forgot about. You know what I'm saying? This is good. That's why I don't know how to get these people together, but man, we need to have something to get people together. I was telling you about having, you know, that was me writing on there to Miss Blackman about having a bowl and to eat afterwards. You know what I'm saying? We need to get people together. We have great black bowlers, white too. I'm just saying what I came up with. You know what I'm saying? We were another bowler I got to give shout out to Tony Figuera. I brought Tony out of Gardena, who is a good lefty bowler, went on tour, drilled my balls, brought him to Inglewood to bowl with me, Vernon, and Dre. Okay? And we put it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tony brought him to the hood. You know, they don't know what they getting into. You know, it's all I think, what? You know what I'm saying? So I see you from there. I lived there for 25 years. You know what I'm saying? But it's like somehow to get these people together with these names, I want to know where these people are. I want to find these older folks. That's why people at least your age are lucky. You guys had internet. You guys emails. We didn't have that. We lost connection to the people that we love. These millennials, they're so lucky to be able to have contact with these people. I go on people's Facebooks because I don't have Facebook looking for people that I know because I miss these kind of people, you know? Yeah. So it's something.
Just because you're my guy, I'm going to talk to my people. Y'all look, and everybody that's on here listening, hey, let's all get in contact with a lot of these people. Man. And we need to get together at a party, have a picnic, have a barbecue. We need to do something.
Make it happen. Invite these people from out of town. You know, it needs to be like a family reunion for bowling. You know, these are stories. These people you telling me, they're stories. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, Brandon, this stuff that you've done here, you can elevate yourself if you get your stuff in the right people's hands. You got a new job, partner. You deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, pull me in. I'd love to help you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, whatever I can assist you at. Hey, you know, reach out. You know what I'm saying? And there are people on here talented, man. You know, it's
And look, Nicole trying to talk crap. She said y'all had that raggedy little phone book.
Dude, I go through them all the time. See, that's another thing. You know why a lot of people lost contact. A lot of people that moved because of all.
Oh, look, here you go. We talked to her about it earlier. There she go.
That's a person that can make it happen. You know, contacts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the person that can make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, hold on. Look, was who really good, Anthony? Who are you talking about? Give me a name. Are you talking about Royale? Who are you talking about here?
Yeah, he talking about me. Nigga, I could put it down, dog. I put it down. You might not know that, you know, hey, look, dog, I put it down. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. That's another dude that could play on the shots that we play was Andre Rounds, okay? Now, Andre will tell you the story. I was going to Bowling Drum. Andre couldn't figure out why he wasn't on my team for this one league. And it was hard for me to tell him why. You know, the reason Andre wasn't on my team because two people couldn't do the same thing at the same time. You know, I couldn't tell him why he couldn't be on my team. So I bet everybody in that league that wanted to be. What y'all can bet any amount you want. How many games do you need? I'm winning this league.
Hey,
You know,
Uncle Arvo, look, they keep saying Uncle Arvo, Uncle Arvo.
Uncle, hey,
He done taught me so much, man. It ain't even funny.
man, nicest guy in the whole wide world. Thanks
Absolutely.
for helping my boy Charles. Charles is all I'm calling. I'm at Orville's. I'm going down to Orville's. Thanks for helping him. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that helps my friends, thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? You got me off track for a minute there.
I said, because I was looking at
I was
Arvo.
going to tell you about my league, the 40-team league on Monday night, okay?
Yeah.
I remember looking at the league sheet. I don't have it here. I looked for it, who I beat in that league. The first time I bowled it, I won by 3 games. I remember Sonny Dew was on the second place team. And I told myself once I separated from Sonny Dew, Sonny would never beat me. You know what I'm saying? And I never let him beat me in the league. You know, that was my personal thing with him. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like I said, I don't talk to Sonny. I didn't talk to Sonny much, but true down, I still always had respect for Sonny Dew. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's got stories. You know what I'm saying? You need to get Larry on there. Larry can forget about whatever problems he had or whatever. Larry, you need to get on here, partner. I don't look at you like that. I'm looking for you myself just to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? I was hard on Larry. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell it like it is. Larry was one of the best bowlers 1 through 8. I can't speak for him 9 to 10. That's where you can put me in. But for the money, you get me to 9 and 10, you weren't winning, partner. I was going to knock you off. That's just how I looked at it. So, you know, when the dude asked me, could I bowl? Yeah, I could bowl, partner. I can put it on the money. I could hit it, nigga. I could hit the spot. So now that league, like I said, April 15th hit, they made that league 40 weeks. So we had plenty time after April 15th to bowl, okay? I ended up winning that league. I found the sheet. Andre told me I won by 17 games. I won that league by 21 games, a 40-team league. Okay. Wow. Now, my preparation on it was I did my research. I had a lineup that showed you who you bowled every week in advance. People didn't have access to it, but I researched how to find it. So I knew who I bowled every week, 5 weeks from now. So, hey, I put in my work to know who I had to bowl, who I had to be ready for, what I needed to shoot, when I needed to shoot it. So I'm just telling you, man, I was ready for y'all at all times. I was like Mayweather. You didn't get in the ring with him and not be ready. He was going to get you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. That's why he's 50-0, because he was ready for you. You know, I was ready for you when you came for me. You might have beat me sometimes, but you weren't going to beat me most times. That's just how I looked at it. And so all them dudes that bowl with me, I appreciate you. And thanks for dealing with me, because I was tough to deal with, you know. So
hey, look, Denise said she think you want to come back.
I don't want to come back. You know, since that day I put my ball down, I have never picked up a bowling ball. I got another story for you from a guy that a lot of people might know. He wasn't a good bowler. He thinks he was Ice, Lemon Ice. You know Ice?
I know Ice.
You know Ice. So I got a story. I walked in the Southwest. They were bowling down there for some money. I walked in my tennis shoes, and Ice is talking shit. I was like, Ice, I'm not going to get my balls out the car. Ice was a lefty.
Yes.
He went down there and bowled. I didn't warm up, nothing. I picked up Ice's ball and shot 300 on Ice with no practice with his bowling ball at Southwest. You can ask him and whoever might have been there. Right there, right behind the desk. So that's
Keith Harris. Keith
and
Harris.
y'all always talk about lane 25 and 26. I told you about that 300 I sat there. And Dre was on 9 and 10. I think I shot them 18 in a row on 25 and 26. I think I could have done it.
And look, Marilyn says she's going to put a reunion tournament together.
Let's do it. Marilyn, let's do it. I don't have the contacts, Marilyn, but I know you have all the contacts that have the contacts. So make it happen, girl.
Hey, Damon said he was there when you beat Ice.
He might have been because he had his shop right down the street.
Yeah. Dude, hey, this has been a bowling history. This has been touching moments with talking about family. Dude, this has been an absolute amazing interview, bro.
Hey, I want to thank you. Like I said again, man, what you've put down here is great, and you can take this to every limit, man. You need to be interviewing these pros. They need to get a hold of you. They have a brother up there with Mr. Peterson, who was a player back when I was. I can't believe he quit kind of soon, but he went right to telecasting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you can be there with that guy, man. You got the personality. You got the education to do it. You got our support to do it. You know what I'm saying? Whoever can get this guy there, make it happen because he's capable of doing it beyond that. You know what I'm saying? I
got another. Hey, Anthony said, how good was Hood? Stephen Hood.
Now, here's a guy that I'm gonna put it out there. You know, me and him had a little misleading. I got way out of line with Hood at something in a life thing, okay? And it hurts me that it ever happened, you know, but I was kind of dumb in certain ways, but that's a dude that meant a lot to me. And I feel I kind of lost his friendship, and we might be able to put it together one day, but I love that dude. Okay. Yeah. Just to let you know, but we both league, me, him, Andre, and they made me remember was BJ Cotton, but and we won that league. And man, I never understood when I first bowled with Hood why this dude wasn't more. Okay, I'll be there in a minute, little man. Okay, I'll be there in a minute, little man. So Hood, man, Hood throws the ball extremely good, okay? And, you know, you have different kind of bowlers. You know, when Hood bowled with me, I couldn't understand why he couldn't carry. You know, a lot of times he threw the ball better than I did. Better at times. I'm going by what I looked at when I could bowl and when I knew what bowling was about. Yeah. So, and I've seen Hood practice at Gardena, and I saw him while we were still cool at Cal, and he threw the ball extremely good. Now, when you go bowling different patterns and stuff like that, I don't know how good he was. But when I bowled with him, I felt Hood was very good. And when I saw him bowling at Gardena, he still threw the ball very good. And I know he evolved, and I know he was getting that paper at a time too, because I was hearing about it through friends that his results and through him that, you know, that he was doing well. But like I said, the game has changed, so I don't know. You know, it's hard to say how good a bowler is now and how good he is then. You know what I'm saying? Part of it could be education of the game, you know, and these balls are way different. I mean, it sounds to me, you guys are working with remote control, some of them. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like, you know. And to me, bowling's not about remote control. Make it a round thing and see who can bowl with get the same ball, drill it the same way, and then see who can play. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, it's too many different factors now. Who these bowlers are. Look, I was a thumbless bowler, okay? But these dudes that throw the ball with two hands, more power to them. I think it looks terrible. But you had a bowler, you asked somebody and they said they're all good for it because the game has evolved. And if it can bring attention to the game, that's all fine and dandy. That's good. You know what I'm saying? But I have a different kind of respect for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm probably old school about it. So I'm never going to have respect for it like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, do I think that Belmonte can play? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I don't think he can play straight up. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, you know? But I've seen another one on there. I think the way he throws it like that, I think he throws it well. I've seen some lefties throw it like that. They look terrible. There are not too many lefties that look good bowling that score to me. You know what I'm saying? I heard a little hitch about Vern, that Vern got a little hitch in his game. You know what I'm saying? Back when he first had it, when he was bowling with me, he didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? And that might come because I know he has problems with his knees. So you have to adjust your game because a pain will make you change the way you throw the ball without you even knowing it. But Vern used to look extremely good. So he might have been one of them guys now that make me retire by the way I see him throw the ball. You know what I'm
Hey, look, Jello said, who was better, Dre or Hood?
Dre was better than Hood. But like I said, there was a different changing of the guards. Dre also, I think, kind of got away from the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But when we bowled, Dre was better than Hood. But don't take something wrong. Hood always, dude, when I saw Hood, like I said, after I removed myself from the game, Hood threw the ball really well. I bowled with a lot of very good bowlers. But until I bowl against them a multitude of times, and I've had a lot of good bowlers bowl with me, I can tell you what the most important thing is: can they really bowl? And did they have intestinal fortitude? Can you throw it for the money? That's all I was concerned about. You know what I'm saying? That's what I told you. I wasn't good 1 through 8. But, hey, when that radar went up and I knew I had a shot at it, partner, I was coming to get you, and I was going to make you feel me. That's just how I felt about it, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I don't care if you were a better bowler than me and you bowled on my team. More than likely, you weren't bowling anchor. You know what I'm saying? Unless you were a Robert Smith, all respect. I was bowling anchor. You know what I'm saying? I had to have the result on my hand. If we were going down because of me. That's just how I felt about it.
Yeah. Man. Hey, Royale, dude, this has been absolutely phenomenal.
All good. Hey, G3. I don't know how good he is. I've seen him throw the ball a little bit. Yeah, I've seen him throw the ball. You know, I like his this. You know what I'm saying? He got that heart. Oh, we got to talk about Farrell a little bit. Sorry. Now, when I started bowling, Farrell was removed from the game. But when I first saw him throw the ball,
yeah,
I knew he was going to get that money. And he left here at a right time to go to the right place to get that paper. So I was real happy to see him.
Yeah.
And respect to his mom. I don't remember his dad, but I know his mom's name was Diane. I had a huge respect for that lady. She carried herself in a different way. Loved her. You know what I'm saying? But Farrell threw the hell out the ball. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, I don't know. I wasn't able to break his game down because I quit right at that point. But
no. Farrell's mom name is Mabel.
My bad. I just have it wrong because of this. I got you. It's exactly what it was. My bad. That's just.
I just thought about it when it said it. I'm sitting here thinking.
That's just me. That's just me. That's my bad. You know, that's just. I mix things up. My bad. I apologize, babe. Loved her to death. You know what I'm saying? We didn't speak often. She carried herself in a different way, you know, and certain people, like I said, different people are approachable. And somebody said about that Charles is an asshole. Charles ain't no asshole. Charles is on the same, because he may be honest, it may be seen that way.
Yeah.
Charles, Vernon, Dre, these 3 guys that were involved in my life, and I can say thankful, like I said, to Robert Smith, Tim Mack, who I don't know well, but treated me from day one as a brother. Daryl Smith, the greatest people. And like I said, thanks for letting me see these guys at the end. Great people, man. You know, thanks for it, man. Thanks for showing me them, man. It brought a lot to me, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, guys.
It's dark in here, huh?
It's a little dark, but hey, we know. Hey, the kid's about to come in there. Look, we about to go let you be a father, bro.
Man.
Be that fatherhood, brother.
You don't know what I go through, dog. You know, I got it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard, man. You know what I'm saying? And my friends tell me, you know, somebody tells you, when somebody tells you something 3 or 4 or 5 times and it's bad or it's good, it's you. You know what I'm saying? So many people have told me that I'm selfish. I'm selfish, dude. I was selfish, but it's changed a little bit. But I can, I got to say, I always wanted to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And I've done that. And now that's been, partially taken away. I still do it in a selfish way. Yeah. But thank my friends for telling me that, you know what I'm saying, all the time. It didn't mean that I didn't love anybody or anything like that. But thank you. Yeah. Hold on a minute. Sarah, get camera, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son has autism, so he's running over here. So yeah, man, he's been a blessing. I've been working with my son, man, and it's rough. Get me Miss Blackman, man. I gotta roll with her, and she can't fade my greens, dog. I put in some work cooking here and there.
Whoa, wait.
And you can
you still on here. He said you cannot touch his green.
Hey, unfadeable. Unfadeable. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Wow.
I need a little help to try to get it out there, but I'm just telling you, unfadeable, dog. I got people I delivered to. Matter of fact, I started with my ex, Marlena. Her mom made some, and I started to learn how to really put it down because I knew it was missing, but I knew I had the thing, and it gets better, and I got variety to it, but I know y'all think a light-skinned dude don't know what's cracking, but and I ain't about that light-skinned, dark skin. You know what I'm saying? I'm it for real. You know what I'm saying? I walk in a body one way. You know what I'm saying? I love my mom. Got nothing to do with it. But
listen, man, no chance.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hey, that's what she's supposed to say. That's what she's supposed to say.
Wow. Hey, I don't know what just happened, but my boy Royale just said, "Yo, greens is nothing, Denise." Wow.
I love soul food, dog. I put it down. I like to smoke my meat now. I got a little cheater with the Traeger grill, but I put it down with that, man. And when you do
something, hit your boy. Let me come through, and
I got you, dog. I got you.
Yeah, but dude, hey, this has been, like I said, dude. I can't say it enough. Dude, I can't even speak.
Okay,
but phenomenal.
All right, man. I hope I brought something to your show, man. Like I said, I hope we've done something for the both of us. I can tell you this: I had some nervous nights thinking about you. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know how this might go. You know what I'm saying? And I like I said, hit me up for some more information. I got a lot of material. You know what I'm saying? So and believe me, I forgot more than I remember. You know what I'm saying? You can believe that.
Hey, we're leaving it up to Maryland to get this tournament together so we can all get the OGs to come back out, even if they don't bowl, man, just to be in the vicinity of everybody else, man.
Right. So, by the way, my family is in jewelry. You know what I'm saying? My wife can get anything. You know what I'm saying? The Rolexes when y'all want them. You know what I'm saying? At not what you're going to pay for them. The real gold, whatever you need for your people. You know what I'm saying? Got it for real at beyond fair. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to, so because it's rough these days to love your people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
But, yeah. And I have one other thing to say. We have a lot of our people are sick with the way that we eat, the way we were raised with foods and the things that we drink and etc. So there's a treatment out there I have nothing to do with. I was introduced to it to a young lady named Sarah Salati, who I love to death. It's called EECP. It's extensive external counter pulsation. You can look it up. Her business was called Global Cardio Care. For anybody that has congestive heart failure, if you breathe in deep, okay, this can help you live, and it will give people that bowl energy. If your adults have Medicare, this will be covered there. Get our older adults there, because a lot of us are sick or going to be sick. That's how we die. You know, our race dies like that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because we're exposed to the environment that we're in. So EECP, you can look it up. Global Cardio Care, I believe there's a website.com. And this is straight hit on life. It ain't got nothing to do. I don't get nothing. I'm not even interested in that. I'm into helping my people. You know what I'm saying? It can make you a better bowler. It can teach you how to eat, drink. You got a headphones on while you're doing this treatment. You lay on a bed. They wrap cuffs around you, and it's like you're working out while your heart is pumping and circulating your blood and pulling these blocked arteries, okay? People don't know about these things. It's a great thing. So it costs money if you don't have insurance, but, you know, make it happen. I'm just putting it out there. Help people live. Go ahead, man.
That's dope. Hey,
All
guys,
right.
dude. Hey, I want to thank all my viewers, man. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Like I said, Royale brought the best out. He brought a lot of people out that hasn't been there. And dude, like I said, we brought him out. Dude, you guys have no clue. I'm sure he absolutely loved this show more than you guys think.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I saw Charles when he went on. He said, Roy, I checked this out. This was after. So I saw it. I'm like, I didn't tell him, but I'm like, I got to do this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then I saw V-Dog on there, Black Jesus. Y'all get rid of that name, V-Dog. That's my boy, Vern. Like I said, I'm glad he made you happy, Gerald, because every time I see this cat, I wish I was around him more. I wish he'd come visit me more often. I miss my boy, Vern. So, like I said, see, I lost track here. But damn, well, go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I lost.
No, you good. Hey,
I'm talking too fast.
Hey, you just enjoying, dude. You bring it back.
I saw Vern on there, and I said whatever. I said, man, this is
the first time Hartzell been on my show. Hartzell said, "What's up,
man?" I see Hartzell at Farmers Market getting these good fruits and vegetables. Okay, Hartzell gets them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I appreciate him. Thanks for looking out for Vern, man. Good looking out for Vern, man. Look out for him, man. He needs that.
Hey, I'm telling you, hey, you guys have no clue, man, where this interview has superseded a whole lot.
Hey, nah, I'm not Andre, dog. For his family to put it down like that, dog, that was my man. He had the whole crew, dog. He had the whole crew rapping every lyric, dog.
Hey, he did.
Oh my God. Hey, yo, rap, dog. I be shaking my head at it. I be up there as Larry Kelly, man. That's my dog's little alias thing on there. So when I'm writing little things, I'm not good at it, but yeah.
Yeah. Man.
Hey, and I'm sorry for whoever I missed, man. And hey, man, bowling has been great for me. Thank you for it, you know, and just the time. I look back and I'm like, man, I've been removed from the game 20 years. Now I look at it, and I only bowled like 13 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or so. Like I said, I got into it, how I got into it, you know, so, yeah.
Hey, go ahead, dude. Get Cameron, Cole, and
Clay.
Clay. Yeah, Cameron, Cole, and Clay.
You can't forget Cassius Clay, man.
Yeah, Cameron, Cole, and Clay. Guys, if y'all missed this interview, dude, go back. I know it's lengthy, but you need to watch the show because it was more than just bowling, man. It was history.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that thought, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, and holler at me, bro. You got my number. I got yours. Hey, let's stay in contact.
All good, man. You riding them bikes, man. I'm down for trying to put in some work. I was trying to, but I don't have one, but I'm down for that.
Okay. Hey,
it'll be a minute, but one day we can make that happen.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, Big Royale, man.
Have a good night, bro. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Later. Guys, hey, dude, that has been phenomenal, like I said, phenomenal interview with Royale Miles, dude. Royale, dude, he, like I said, hasn't bowled in 20 years, but for him to do what he did was absolutely amazing. I thank all my guests. Hit that share button, man, and just let the world hear the story, because there's that's a touching story. Like I said, he got caught up a little bit with mom and pops. Rest in peace to them. And dude, like I said, Denise, you already know. Hey, autism. I got some stuff coming up for you guys too, man. So, dude, thank you, man. You guys really mean a lot, man. Really mean a lot. So, y'all already know what it is. It's about that time that we end the show like this.
I gotta strike while the iron is hot. One of one, don't follow flocks. Man, I got this on lock. Team Harvey, team hustle, team can't be stopped. Just cop 900 blower, yeah, but fresh out the shop. Let's start rolling. I'm an expert on the lane. Yeah, smooth approach, about to roll a perfect game. And well connected with the sport's biggest names. We can't talk unless an X on the frame. I'm here asking the questions, clear the air and confusion. Fresh, humble, and arrogant with the logo infusion. Red cup for the right vibe. I got the answers. You going live with Bowtie.
Yo. Hey, guys, dude, like I said, thank you for everything. Dude, Tuesday, so next week, I'm going Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, I don't have anybody yet. So if you guys play, I'm going to start reaching out to some people, to some guests. So if you get a message, let me know if you could do a Monday. Look, let me know. Tuesday, I need a guest. Wednesday, I have Tennille Milligan. She's the PWBA Director of Operations. I have her coming on Wednesday. Thursday, I have my first family coming in. Dude, I am super stoked. My first family, I have Kim Terrell Kearney and Eric Kearney coming to the show live right here on Going Live with Bowtie. That's Thursday. So, like I said, Wednesday I have Tennille Milligan, PWBA Bowling Director of Operations, and Thursday, the first family, Eric and Kim Terrell Kearney. Eric and Kim Kearney. I'm just saying, hey, I can't be any more blessed, man. I just thank the man above for blessing me to provide you guys with this platform. So, as always, man, love your family, be safe, and have a great Friday, y'all. Hey, Bowtie out. Peace.